Good morning and welcome to Super Med. It's nice to see you all. Thank you for tuning in. So I'm back in the Honda E. The car has now been with me for nearly 5 months. So I got it in October in 2020, and obviously we're now 2021 in March and still locked down. So car's been good. I haven't done very many miles in it, so I think we're now on 562 miles from what I've seen. And I thought I'd give you a bit of an update and let you know what has been happening with it. So I've had one issue so far, that the passenger side window, when you turn the car on, would start to go up and down very quickly, and it would just keep on. You'd hear the motor jiggling around, and the window would drop and then go up again. So it went to Honda under warranty, because it's got this obviously long warranty, and I have a servicing package, and it found that the door handle that flicks open, which you can see as I'm showing you right now, the door handle moves in and out on a small electronic switch, and a solenoid that pops it had failed. So small micro switch had gone. Honda appeared to know exactly what was going on with that. They sent one out. I dropped the car from the Tuesday, part came in on the Thursday, and then the car was returned to me on the Friday. So they did have to replace that entire door handle that moves in and out, and the mechanism inside and the switch. Didn't take them very long. I think it was about a 4-hour job from what I've been told, but they did have to strip the door down and take everything to pieces. That has been the only issue I've had so far, but the car's only done 562 miles. So hopefully I don't have any further issues. Except for that, you've seen the Amazon stick which I put in for the video. That's been working well. That's got its little charging pack on it, and everything else is running as it should. I did add, I don't know what it's called, the little smiley face that comes up on the dashboard, a bit like Siri on the mobile phone, or Alexa. I now have that in the car. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, so I'm going to call it a girl. So she comes up on the dashboard. She's utterly useless. I ask her to do things. There is, I don't think it's a subscription. I think it was, I can't remember, 40 or 50 pounds a year, something along those lines, or maybe that's an indefinite amount for the duration of ownership. I don't know. But I did it. It was meant to give me further activation in the car on other items, but I haven't really seen anything change. I've tried to use it a few times, and it never comes up. And if it does come up, I tell it what I want, and it doesn't know what I'm talking about. So you see the little face sort of squirm around a bit, and the eyes move, and then it disappears again. So it's more just something that is there, but it doesn't do much. Except for that, car's fine. I obviously run a Tesla as well, and the Tesla is a long-range model with a 75 kilowatt battery. This has a much smaller battery in it. I'm finding it's good for going to the shops, it's good for nipping around, hence why it's only done 560 odd miles. Except for that, I mean, I can see the range at the moment on my dashboard is showing me 37 miles, and I have, how much charge? I can see I have just under half a charge, so it says 45% charge. It's not the best on battery life, I have to say. I charge it up, it charges in, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. I never really let it go all the way flat. I charge it back up to 80%, or if I'm going to do a journey, I'll put it on 100%. It isn't very inspiring for doing long journeys, and also the charge times aren't as good as, say, the Tesla. But I live with that. I knew that when I bought it. I wasn't buying it to try and turn this into sort of a commuting monster. It's just one of those things. So except for that, everything is functioning very well. The car has now been ceramic coated, which I did, and I used a ceramic coating called Carpro, I think it was called Carpro 30, with the main ceramic going on the bodywork once it's all clean and shiny, and then you use something called Reload, which is something that just basically tops up the ceramic coating, and it's more of a finish sheen that you put on it, and you're meant to use that now and again when you wash your car, which I've been using quite a bit. So the car's had probably 4 or 5 washes since. The water beads off it amazingly. I mean, it's really quite cool to look at. So I end up spraying the car down when I really don't need to, just to see all the water running off it. But it's worked fantastically well. Obviously, it doesn't protect against dents, and it doesn't protect against scratches, and that's what the PPF is for. So except for that, the car's great. I put in some a different boot mat in the boot, because the boot mat was a carpet mat and it was a bit useless. I know I can buy one which is carpet on one side and rubber on the other side, but I'd looked at it and it was about 140 quid. So I had some of this it almost looks like a coin, a £2 coin imprint on mat, and I'd had that from something else that I was working with on a boat, and I had quite a lot of it. So I made a template for the boot and I trimmed it all up and I put that in the boot, and it works brilliantly for chucking Wellington boots in the back and scooters and, you know, God knows what else, and that's been great. So I don't now have an issue with the boot getting dirty, because it's effectively a liner, because nobody makes a liner for this car. I don't get it. It's the perfect little car for having a nice PU liner manufactured in black that can be shoved in the boot at sort of 50 quid. I'm sure everybody would buy it, but I can't find one anywhere, so I made my own. What else have I done? Nothing. That is it. So this is a very fast update. The car's doing well. Mileage about 90 miles. I have a heavy foot. I probably get less than that at times. If you turn the heating on, you watch the gauge drop considerably, which I don't like. It's a bit disconcerting when it happens. Except for that, I live with it. There's nothing wrong with it. So this car will continue to do its thing. It will get used as a second vehicle, and it will be a shopping car. It will be a nippy car for nipping around town. But the one thing I adore about it is the turning circle. You turn the steering wheel and literally you can make a U-turn in a road, just a normal size road. It will go round on its own axis. It's phenomenal. And I showed somebody that I know who has a black taxi, and he had a go in it and he could not believe it, and he just said, this is awesome, all cars should be like this. Now,
Same is my mental condition, and I've got a simple mission to see what I've never seen, to go where I've never been. Am I getting your attention? My message getting through.
Okay, so this is the tough problem with owning an electric car. So I'm in the Honda E, and I'm down to about 42%. I need a bit more power because it's showing me 35 miles on the dashboard. So I've got to one of the Polar Network chargers, and I have a Nissan Leaf in front of me. So taxi drivers seem to use this one quite a lot, and he's got another 46 minutes to go. So it's a bit of a pain. So one of the things that I really hate is charging my car. So it was quite low on power. You can see it's now got 74%, and it's charging away over here, if you see. So 74%, 63 miles, just shows it probably only does do around 105 miles once it's all charged up. And I am on the Polar Network today. So you can see over there, that is the charger, and I'm using the I don't know what's called, the double charger on it, and I use this card. So you can see my ID there, can't you? So it's BP Charge MasterCard, and I can't remember how much it costs on a monthly basis. I think it's about £7, £6.99 or £7.99 a month, and then whatever the charge from the machine cost. But it's not particularly expensive. It's good now and again when you haven't got access to your home charger. So I actually charged up the Tesla yesterday, and I forgot to plug in this particular car, but I haven't used it for probably a week and a half, 2 weeks anyway. But yeah, it's all going well, and it's very messy in here. You can see my camera gear all on the floor, and the back is all covered in drones and everything else. But yeah, charging, seriously boring in this car. Oh, and normally I have this, which is actually plugged in. So this is my power pack here, which goes into down into the USB port, and then I have my Amazon HDMI stick here, but the remote control is at home and I forgot it, so I can't watch TV. Okay, something else I've just thought of that is a real gripe of mine. EV drivers have to charge their cars up, just like petrol drivers have to go into a petrol station and fill up with petrol. But EVs take longer. So what happens is people go in the petrol station, they buy a cup of coffee, they buy themselves a sandwich, a packet of crisps, a chocolate bar, whatever it might be. And then they go back to their car, and if it's a petrol car, they drive into the sunset. and then they eat their sandwich as they're driving, or they go somewhere else and they eat their snack and they drink their drink. In an EV, people tend to sit and they eat everything whilst they're charging. And this happens. Look at all this rubbish. So you can see further down the street over here, no rubbish at all. Here, this is an EV bay here. I'm in an EV bay. Look at all the rubbish. It is amazing. There's just literally rubbish everywhere, because I've noticed all the taxi drivers coming in and they park in here. There was a guy there earlier. I watched him charging his car. I had to wait 45 minutes for him. And it was, you know what really annoyed me? It was a hybrid. It wasn't even a proper EV. So he's here. He started, he got a hoover out. He hoovered around the inside. Then he cleaned up his mats. I saw him banging them on that post over here. Then his rubbish was ejected out of the floor of the car from obviously his passengers. He looked like an Uber driver, and it just left all over the ground. Now, I think when these companies come in and install these chargers, I think they should put a bin on the back of it or on the front of it. It should be standard, and then drivers will put their rubbish in the bin. But people are really bad. They don't find a rubbish bin, so they chuck it down the street instead. It's just a pet hate of mine. And I saw the same thing at the superchargers the other day. Went to a supercharger near Birchhanger on the not A14, on the M11 at Birchhanger, very close to Stansted. And there was rubbish everywhere. I mean, it looked like a tip. And there was actually a bin I could see just around the corner, but nobody was putting their rubbish in it. They were going off to McDonald's and they were just chucking their rubbish down. So if you're an EV driver and you chuck your rubbish out, I think it's disgusting, and I don't think you deserve to have the car, and you should really learn some, just learn some manners. I mean, I was always, if I threw something out the window as a kid, my parents would have beaten me for it. Well, I think exactly should happen with you guys if you do that. And I think the majority of you don't, which is good news. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you all stay safe, stay well, watch out for coronavirus, drive your cars, your scooters, your motorbikes, whatever it is you're using carefully. Hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon down below, and hit that like button. Cheers, guys.